Please read the disclaimer. XRP holders, Trump just went silent, another attack, and the the clock continues to wind down for two very, very important dates, Wednesday and the Clarity Act. We're going to talk about all this in this video. Now, all I ask from you is that you give me a beautiful smile, to send out those good vibes. XRP holders, I've been feeling a little bit down lately. Sometimes you're going to be up, sometimes you're going to be down. I need your good vibes, so send me those beautiful smiles. Smishity smash that like button. Listen, guys, guys. That was my very bad Trump impression. The last time we hit 1,000 likes on a video was April 1st. So 20 days, you guys have been lacking. You've been slacking and you've been lacking. And XRP's price is not been moving since then. So I'm just saying, it can't hurt. It can't hurt. Now, currently XRP is sitting at $1.42. Continue to be pretty flat on the day. XRP is moving with the rest of the top 10 just from a price action point of view. Bitcoin is sitting at 75,264, down about 0.5%. Ethereum at 2,300, down about 1%. And Solana at 85, down about 1% as well. But for XRP, there's something very interesting that could happen, whereas we saw Bitcoin and Ethereum have risen more than XRP and Solana over the past few weeks, because they did have a crossover on the 1348 EMA indicator. Well, XRP is getting very close on the daily chart to cross that over. I'll show you that in just a second, but let's start out with the news here and we'll get to the price action in just a second. So if we take a look here, 12 hours ago, President Trump said that he would have some information by the end of the day, remember? Yet Saturday has officially ended without any deal announcement and complete silence from both Iran and the US. Meanwhile, the anticipated peace talks between the US and Iran on Sunday were never scheduled, and the Strait of Hormuz is closed again. In 18 hours, the US stock market will open and oil futures will reopen, and it's going to be a very eventful Sunday ahead. And where's my roller coaster? Whoa, right? The roller coaster in the markets, it's not just the crypto market, it's just the world uncertainty right now continues to go up and down, up and down, up and down, just from that standpoint. Although if we do look at the crypto fear and greed index, we are at 27, which is the highest level that we have seen in a very long period of time, basically since mid-March, right, where we were 28, which was the highest level. And I don't think we haven't been at 30 since January 20th. So the fear and greed index is continuing to come up. It's continuing to get better because of the peace. But if you go and you look at the stock market fear and greed index, it's in the greed, right? Because new all-time highs. Whereas the crypto market, because of the Clarity Act, which we'll get to in just a second, is still being suppressed. Also, this is the situation right now. President Trump has covered the White House Situation Room meeting to discuss Iran's closure of the Strait, and the ceasefire is set to expire in 3 days. So this is Wednesday, remember. The situation with Iran is a critical point, and no final date has been set for the new meeting. U.S. officials say that if there's no breakthrough soon, the war could resume in the coming days. The renewed crisis in the Strait arose amid discussions regarding Iran uranium enrichment. Trump says he will know by the end of the day if the deal is going to happen or not. And we're again in this situation. This was from yesterday. We're in this where if we know if it's going to happen or not, I should have had this before this. Technical difficulty time. It was funny. Yesterday, I brought a tweet, and then it was like an older tweet, and then I said, "This is an older tweet," and then there was someone in the comment section, "That's an older tweet." They didn't listen to the end of the sentence. That's what happens sometimes, with you, when someone speaks a lot, right? Same way your wife is talking, she's talking, and then you hear like the beginning, you don't hear the end. Yes, honey. You're right. We'll get to the price action in just a second, but let's look at what's happening with Eleanor. New as clock ticks down, tick-tock down to the markup of the Clarity Act in the Senate Banking Committee. The North Carolina Bankers Association, a state trade group, has been urging member banks to call into Senator Tom Till's office to weigh in on the stablecoin yield debate. Per an email shared with her by an employee at a small Williamton based bank circulated by leadership, this will be weak on behalf of the bankers. The current compromise stablecoin yield text does not accomplish that goal of mitigating deposit flights of stablecoins. It then encourages employees to call Till's office using the following pre-written message. The Clarity Act must include a airtight prohibition on payments for stablecoins acting as store of value by clearly bearing any interest or yield-like payments tied to the holding, retention, or balance of payment stablecoins, without carve-outs that can be met through nominal activity or loyalty programs. The email adds that employees don't need to answer the questions and defend their position. Simply state your message, and you'll be thanked for your call, and that's easy. Development tracks with recent reports that banks are growing increasingly restless with the current stablecoin yield compromise and are making last-minute pushes for changes. Hopefully, this doesn't bring us into a situation where the Clarity Act gets postponed or in the end canceled. Hopefully, that doesn't happen. You know what I think about that. I don't think there's a lot of new people. Although you remember I told you that there was like suddenly a drop in the amount of subscribers. Well, it came back. It came back. I don't know what was going on there. It was like suddenly I had like minus subscribers, which was the first time in a very long time that I've had less subscribers than subscribers. And then suddenly, I don't know, YouTube rectified it and it bounced back. So I don't know what's going on there. But that's the current situation. But anywho, to all of you, I think that the Clarity Act, of course, it's very critical that it passes. It's not the end of the world for XRP and XRP's price action, but just in the short term, let's say the next 6 months, it could be a make it or break it just in that time frame. Meaning that the stock market might continue to go up, pull back. I don't know, but for the crypto market to recover and to get to a similar place where the stock market is, meaning new all-time highs, we need Clarity Act to pass first. That's just my opinion. Maybe I'm right about this. Maybe I'm wrong about this. As always, I just want to remind you that this video is for educational purposes, for entertainment purposes only, not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before you decide to invest. Very, very important. Also, remember that I will never contact you on social media asking you to sign up to anything or send me any money. Those are scammers. Those are imposters. Please be very careful out there. And on that note, let's talk about some hacks. There were 2 exploitations that happened last night. So the first one was 292 drained, biggest exploit in 2026. Attacker drained 116,000 RS Ethereum, 18% of supply from Kelp DAO's Layer 0 powered bridge. And so that happened. And then there was another exploit, not that, this one. Another bridge mining attack robbery from Aave. So that also happened. And so this is something that's continuing to happen. And it's the same value. Interesting. It's a very, very close value. This was 292, and this was also 292. Is this the same thing? It doesn't. It doesn't talk about 116,000. Yes, it's the same thing. Oh my God. It just, you know why I thought it was 2 different things? Because here it says it's from Kelp DAO. So I thought it was 2 different things. And now I see it's across Aave. So yes, only one attack, but still a huge attack that happened. And see, I'm only human after all. Don't put the blame on me. Sometimes, guys, we mess up. Guys, sometimes, and I leave the shenanigans in, I leave the mess ups in, because it's just another reminder to all of us that we're human, and sometimes we're going to mess up. Sometimes we're going to take a bad trade. Sometimes we're going to miss a good trade, which more often than none, we miss a good trade. And then we see something going up. And then, who knows what can happen? It can also go down. So that's what we have to remember. We have to be on our feet. We have to take opportunities. We have to, take the good with the bad. And so that's always important to remember. So again, hacks, phishing, all those things, please be very careful. There's a lot of activity right now. We talked about price action. So right now, Alts versus Bitcoin just flashed the signal. We talked about this, the others, right? And we saw the breakout So I can't find others three for some weird reason. I don't know why it's not popping up here, but others, which is the total crypto market cap excluding the top 10, is also got that crossover on the 1348 EMA. So potentially we could see a breakout here. Again, a lot of people are talking about, well, this is a signal that we hasn't seen since 2020. And that was a crazy, run up. But we also have to remember that 2020 and 2021 was a unique situation. 2017 was a unique situation. Both of those times we had very low interest rates, and now we have pretty high interest rates. So there's a lot of different things. The M2 was mimicked by Bitcoin. Now the S&P 500 is actually mimicking the M2 very closely, but Bitcoin has not, the crypto market has not. So we're in this very weird and interesting situation where we don't really know what's going to potentially happen here from price action standpoint. XRP, like we've talked about, it is potentially going to cross over here on the 1348 EMA, but we have had the run up that we saw on Thursday and Friday. XRP going up all the way to 151. It's people were in the comment section on Friday saying, maybe are we going to see another Friday pump and a Sunday dump? And it seems like we might be getting close to that. Similar to here when we ran up and then we sold off. Will we potentially? It looked like we were potentially going to cross over here as well back in March. That didn't happen. Bitcoin and Ethereum, by the way, did cross over, and that's why they're higher than where they were on March. Or Ethereum is right there, and Bitcoin is a little bit higher. Solana is under, XRP is under, right? And so if we do get that crossover, that could potentially give us a nice movement here. But again, without the Clarity Act, without that passing, we're going to have a problem. And again, the M2 is something that usually the crypto market would, or Bitcoin would mimic, or even mimic with a delayed, time frame. Now it seems the S&P 500 is mimicking it, and Bitcoin is significant away from it. And I still believe that the Clarity Act is what's pushing down the price action. And if we get Clarity Act in the next coming weeks, it could be a very, very interesting time frame. Listen, I'm looking right now. I've experienced these kind of times in YouTube and crypto. I've been doing this already for 5 years. And I've had these kind of lulls where, the interest and the viewership and the price action, and they all just like, they go down and they go down and they go down. They hit this like bottom. And it's kind of the same bottom for some reason. It's around like 500,000 views. I have been making less videos. So, maybe if I made a little bit, 3 videos a day, it would be up a little bit more to maybe 600, 7,000 views, right? Maybe around that if I get, 7,000 more views a day times 30 days, right? So that's about maybe 200,000 more views. So yeah, I could probably be around 700,000. Maybe I should start 300. Do you think we should do 3 videos a day? Are you interested? I don't know. I have to think about that. Because there is, sometimes my videos are long, so I could cut them up. But anywho, we get into these lulls, and then something happens, something flips, something switches, and then craziness comes around. So same way, I don't get too excited when the channel is doing very good and lots of viewerships. I don't get down when we're kind of in this lull. And by the way, of course, I really, really appreciate you that you're still here and you're still watching and you're still interested, because I know it's not easy. Listen, it hasn't been easy for me, especially over these past few weeks. I don't know what's going on, because I felt a little bit like, and this is more personal stuff. If you want to click off right now, that's fine. Just my feelings. We were in the war, right? And then we left the war, and I had ceasefire, and then I kind of I was doing good. I had a few good trades, and then I started obsessing again, and I wasn't sleeping. And then I kind of got into this, I don't know, like my body was still thinking, oh, there's gonna be alarms at night. I'm gonna have to wake up, and I couldn't fall asleep, and I just hit like a wall. And sometimes this happens, and my wife, she laughs at sometimes that I'm so optimistic and I'm such a happy going person, but sometimes I hit a wall too. And for some reason, I hit a wall, in the past week or so. And so, but this is my therapy. So I really appreciate you guys listening to me and helping me with my therapy. It's free therapy, of course. I'm too cheap to go to a real therapist. So I was talking to my dad, and this was the funniest thing. It's okay because he doesn't listen to my videos. He comments on them, but he doesn't really listen. So we were talking yesterday. This is story time, and this is some wisdom, but it's funny because you'll understand. He says to me, we're talking about upgrading maybe our vehicles. And then he was talking about, he said, well, I heard this story, or it was his cousin or something. I don't remember who the person was. And he says, we always had a $10 hat, right? And then he would always buy this new hat every single year. And then he would sell it to his less fortunate cousin for $5. He say, here, I'll give you my hat. It's a good hat for $5. And he would sell him the hat, right? And then he would take that $5 and then he would go and add another $5 and buy a new hat, right? And same thing. And then eventually he came to the guy and he said, hey, listen, you were both paying $5 every year. I bought the $10 at first, but we're basically paying the same money every year. I'm getting a new hat and you're getting a used hat. So the moral of the story was that sometimes it's good not to be cheap, but he is the master cheaper, right? He is the cheapest guy. So it was funny to hear from him that story about buying new stuff when he still walks around with the same old t-shirts and and used clothes, right? So I don't know, that was just funny to hear it from him, but sometimes people don't have their self-awareness. So yeah, if you found that story enjoyable, don't forget to smash the like button. Check out the links in the description down below. Did we get to 1,000 likes on this video? Yes, no, maybe. Yes. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. Thank you for watching. I hope to see you next time. And like I always say, let's make a lot of money.